Well, ladies and gentlemen, this next performer really needs no introduction. All I need to say is please welcome Forrest Gump.
Hello? Well, you know what? The other day, me and Mama, we were sitting on the porch, and this young man, he come up on the porch. He said he was collecting small donations for the local swimming pool, so I gave him a glass of water. Last week, Mama was real proud of me because I finished a puzzle, and it took me only 6 months. On the side of the box, it said 2 to 4 years. Mama wanted to celebrate, so she ordered a pizza, and she sent me to go down there and pick it up. When I got there, that man said, "Do you want this cut in 6 pieces or 8?" I said, "Well, you better cut it in 6 pieces. Me and Mama can't eat 8 pieces of pizza." I don't know what he was thinking. Me and Mama love Elvis. Y'all like Elvis? Oh, yeah. You know, there was this big house there in Greenbow, and they had Elvis meetings in that house. Me and Mama started going, and we got up there, and there was singing and dancing. They would even take a jelly donut, take a bite, pass it around, and say, "Hunka, hunka, Bernie love." It's kind of like communion. Yeah. But one day a man came up to me at the meeting, and he said, "What do you think that Elvis would be doing if he was alive today?" I said, well, I don't know, but I think he'd be trying to get out of that box." Is that too soon? Oh, well. After about 6 months, me and Mama were going, those people got strange. They wanted me and Mama to sell our house and for us to move in there with them. And boy, me and Mama got scared. We started looking for somebody to help us get away from them. And we finally found this church, and they put us in the Jehovah Witness Protection Program. Yeah. We started going to church there, and I remember one Sunday, a man came down to the front, in front of the preacher, and he said he needed prayer for his hearing. So that preacher went down there, he put his hands on his ears and prayed. And after that, he said, "Well, can you hear me any better?" That man said, "I can hear you fine, but I have a hearing with the judge tomorrow." Well, anyway, another time me and Mama were down at the church house, and she had somebody to go see and talk to. So I was just wandering around, and I saw this wall in the hallway that was covered with pictures of men and women in uniform. I did not know what it was. Then the preacher came by, and I asked him. He said, "That's our memorial wall. That's for the men and women who died in the service." I said, "Was that the 9:30 or 11 o'clock?" Then he asked me, he said, "Son, do you know why we are quiet in the sanctuary?" I said, "Yes, I do, because there are people sleeping in there." Me and Mom and I, we always sat on the second row. And Miss Whitaker sat in front of us on the first row. She was a little widow lady. She was kind of short and really plump and had arthritis, so we looked out for her. And I remember one Sunday that preacher was preaching a good sermon on how to help other people out. Said if you see something that would help somebody, just do it. And I wanted to do that. Well, after the sermon, we stood up to sing a song, and that's when I noticed that Miss Whitaker's dress was stuck right between her buttocks. So I reached up and pulled it out for her. I woke up 3 rows back. I got back to my seat. I knew that I had done Miss Whitaker wrong, and I knew I had to make it right somehow. So I put it back. That's the last thing I remember.